Why do comedy movies suck so hard nowadays? Like, I'm not understanding. What's going on, my family? So it was irking me because I was thinking about this the other day. Comedy movies just don't hit like how it used to hit back in them good old days, back in the early 2000s when I was a kid. You feel me? Movies like Shrek and shit, White Chicks, American Pie. What happened to all those like actually funny movies? You feel me? Last time I seen a really funny movie was probably like on some Good Boys shit or like Booksmart. Booksmart is actually very underrated comedy movie. But I've just been seeing the decline of, people actually, watching comedy movies or even bringing it up. Like, when was the last time you saw an iconic comedy movie in the last 7 years? You can't tell me. You feel me? Comedy movies nowadays, they just don't hit like they used to. And in this video, I'm just gonna, dissect it, the issue, the problem, why comedy movies aren't appealing to us like they used to, and hopefully a solution that can help us, solve the problem, because I feel like there's a chance that we can get back to the way things used to be. So make sure you guys like, subscribe, and let's jump right into this.
She's a runner, she's a track star.
So I wanted to talk about potentially why comedy movies don't hit like the way they used to. The issue that had an impact and pivoted the comedy genre, and how we could potentially solve that issue.
Yeah, baby. Yeah.
So first of all, comedy movies nowadays don't look like the way they did back then. You feel me? And in doing my research, there's an array of factors as to potentially why these comedy movies just aren't as funny as they used to be. First off, let's start with Marvel. Marvel pretty much killed the genre of comedy, low key. Because Adam Devine, from Workaholics and Pitch Perfect, he was talking about it on a podcast with Theo Vaughn.
My theory, I think like Marvel ruined it. I feel like superhero movies kind of ruined comedies.
He's basically saying if they're going to the theaters, they're gonna go watch something that looks visually more appealing.
Because you go to the theater and you expect to watch something that costs $200 million to make. And comedy movies aren't that.
People aren't gonna go to the theaters and pay for a movie ticket and watch comedy when they can do that at their crib, where they can stream it from Netflix, Hulu, HBO, all that. When people go to the theater, they wanna see an expensive $220 million budget superhero movie. And on top of that, these superhero movies, they got the comedy undertone within them. So viewers can get their comedy fix with these Marvel movies, without actually having to go see comedy genre movies. Also, people are not likely to go risk, spending money to see a movie that they don't know for sure it's gonna be funny. Like, that's why Kevin Hart, he got that crutch on Hollywood, because he started out funny, everyone trusted him. And then I feel like after like 2014, 2015, I feel like after like Ride Along, I mean, his movies with The Rock, with Central Intelligence, and Jumanji, those are alright, those are cool. But I honestly feel like after 2014, after Get Hard, honestly, Kevin Hart wasn't really popping for me. But that's the thing. People aren't gonna go watch a funny movie, if they don't know that it's guaranteed to get them laugh, unless they trust the actors, the writers, the directors that have worked on those movies. So with that being said, that exact reason why people, don't want to risk watching comedy movies that may not be funny, waste their time going to the theaters. Studios don't want to put their energy, don't want to put money for movies that they don't know whether viewers are actually gonna fuck with. So studios, they're not like the early 2000s when they was taking risks, experimenting, not worrying about the results of these comedy movies. Not like how it is now, where studios want to 10x their revenue and make sure that if we're gonna put energy into these comedies, then it better hit. It has to hit. Like Adam Devine was literally saying studios were putting out like 40 to 50 comedy movies in a year.
Every studio would put out several comedies every year, and there was like 45 or 46 comedies in the theaters every year.
Now they brought it down to like 6, 7.
And then now, last year, there was like 6 or 7.
That's crazy.
It's crazy.
He was literally saying how studios have significantly brought down the number of how many comedy movies they put out. And that's, like I said, that's because studios don't want to risk their budgets, don't want to risk their potential revenues on viewers that may or may not watch watch those movies. Literally, there was a point in time where comedy movies were like dominating the movie genres. The box office numbers of comedy movies, the revenue went from 2.5 billion in 2009, went from that down to 1 billion in 2018, bro. By 2018, comedy movies only made up 7.24% of the box office revenue. That's crazy. But it's not only on these studios that have pivoted the direction of where comedy movies have been going. It's also PC culture, cancel culture, the changing of sense of humor of everyone, being politically correct so that we make sure that we don't offend the wrong people. Back in the early 2000s, there was no social media. The climate was different, and people didn't have to, like, you know, fool themselves and thinking, should I be offended by this? This person was offended by this, so maybe I should feel a certain type of way. And with that, how you gonna make a joke when you have to worry about motherfucker number one and motherfucker number two getting offended by this and that? Because of social media now, people have access to feel like they might have a problem with something. Back then, when there was no social media in the early 2000s, in the Zoolander days, you know what I'm saying, in the American Pie days, in the Super Bad days, there was no social media. Nobody was worried about dumb shit, taking jokes so offensively to the point where they can't laugh at the joke. They can't see the humor in the jokes. Back then, the sense of humor was different. Now it has changed drastically so much, people don't even know what they're supposed to find funny, and it affects the art. It impacts the art of certain creators that have already established themselves. People are changing, like Judd Apatow. Judd Apatow, literally GOAT director of comedy movies. I don't care what you say, bro. But Judd Apatow, my man's responsible for the best comedy movies. Like what are we talking about? Like, and Seth Rogen as his front man, bro. Like, come on. Judd Apatow is responsible for Superbad, Anchorman, Pineapple Express, Trainwreck, Get Him to the Greek, Step Brothers. Like, literally, Will Ferrell's best. Will Ferrell, and I'm not even really a Will Ferrell fan like OD like that. But Will Ferrell's most popular comedies, Judd Apatow was responsible for, or at least worked behind the scenes of those movies. Funny people, you know, with Adam Sandler too. Adam Sandler is amongst the list of those actors that just could take over a decade, like Jim Carrey and Eddie Murphy, in terms of, you know, just putting out back-to-back comedy movies. But Adam Sandler is also amongst the people like Seth Rogen and Jonah Hill that have transitioned from doing these comedy movies to doing more like dramatic type shit. And when you have these trusted comedy actors that everyone relies on to give them their comedy fix for movies, and they leave that comedy shit behind, who do we trust now? Like, who do we go to now in order to give us that comedy fix? Kevin Hart? I rock with Kevin Hart. I think Kevin Hart is hilarious, but like I said, after Get Hard and his stand-up comedies, honestly, after What Now, Irresponsible, like, not trying to knock it, he obviously gets to it, but it's just don't be hitting for me like let me explain, like laugh at my pain. I feel like Kevin Hart's movies where he plays supporting roles, like in the superhero movie with Drake Bell, which was a random ass collab, but movies like that and movies like Movie 43, Kevin Hart was in that too. I just feel like when Kevin Hart played those supporting roles in those movies, that's when I feel like shit was just busting. But back on the topic of Judd Apatow, Hollywood just don't make movies like Judd Apatow did. With, you know, 40-year-old version with Steve Carell in The Office, like Steve Carell even said, with the climate of the world, nobody wants to make jokes because they think they're gonna offend somebody. They think they're gonna get canceled. Judd Apatow, he also worked with Adam Sandler with Don't Mess with the Zohan, Popstar with Andy Samberg. Not only did he work with Michael Cera on Superbad, he worked with Jack Black too in Year One with Michael Cera as well too. Goated ass movies, Bridesmaids, one of my favorite movies from Kristen Wiig, literally goated. I feel like Judd Apatow was a prominent role in that comedy genre, and when Judd Apatow stopped putting out those classic movies like Pineapple Express, also This Is the End too, fire ass movie, comedies just didn't hit the same like it used to. It's Hollywood making these decisions that it don't make no sense, like taking Scary Movie from the Wayans. Like, we all know the Wayans brothers definitely put out the most iconic comedy movies of all time, with Scary Movie, Don't Drink Your Juice, White Chicks, Little Man. All those movies literally so iconic, but Hollywood don't want to give them their credit. So the Wayans brothers are, I bet we're not making movies for y'all no more, and that hurt Hollywood. I feel like that definitely hurt Scary Movie for sure. Like, nobody fucked with Scary Movie 3, 4, or 5. when the Wayans brother wasn't involved in it, because it just wasn't as funny. Hollywood wants to make these goofy ass decisions and not use the people that, you know, may offend a few people, but they know that the jokes are hidden. Regardless, the results are gonna be nobody's gonna fucking laugh at y'all movies. So you feel me? Hollywood thinks that they could just, you know, slap us with Jumanji, put The Rock and Kevin Hart in the movie, and think niggas gonna find that shit funny. Nah, nigga. The currency isn't the special effects, it's the comedy itself. If the comedy is not within the movie, people aren't gonna go to the theaters to go watch the movie. That's why the box office numbers, they're decreasing. Because if you're making one-sided decisions, only caring about the revenue and not taking those risks, then people are gonna be aware and be like, I'm not gonna go to the movie theaters to go watch a movie that's probably not funny. It's just basically AI generated. I'm not gonna go watch a AI generated film that's not gonna make me laugh. People aren't stupid. And social media too, on one hand, it's like it's good to have social media because you can peep what's already funny. You can see clips. You could be like, oh, I think I would like this, I would go watch this. But at the same time, social media can be a bad thing because you hear other people's opinions on it. You hear how other people are getting offended, and then you'd be like, hey, maybe I can't fuck with that. Maybe I shouldn't support something that got everybody hot. You feel me? I just feel like, just to go back on the subject of the 2000s, the movies were just so much easier to watch because they were actually focused on the funny. They weren't focused on who feels a certain type of way or who might get offended. Also, the directing of those movies was super bad. In Rush Hour, The Mean Girls, the actors' believabilities, the little things that they use to pop these scenes, the camera works, using the right actors, the right timing to make a scene look good. If you look at Superbad and just break down the acting, the plot, every little detail, Shorty when she danced with the nigga and period blood on her pants, like that's just comedy right there. You feel me? But people, someone might get offended by that, and you can't put out the same jokes that you used back in 2005, 2007. You can't do those same jokes nowadays because the climate has changed. For me personally, my sense of humor doesn't align with the climate of what people find funny. Obviously, comedy is subjective, but come on, bro. A lot of these people want these filtered down, watered down bullshit comedy that doesn't offend nobody and can get you that like that bullshit laugh.
You know, you watch comedies nowadays and you're like, no, this isn't a fucking comedy. You're not. Where's the jokes? Like, where's the bits?
It's bad.
Yeah.
Like, we're not doing that on this side. We are not doing that, bro. We need them shits that really make us laugh. Like, we need the Wayans, bro, type comedy. You feel me? And with the way these studios are trying to present comedy now, they're trying to accommodate to PC culture, and they always trying to put out a deeper message. Oh, and don't forget to wipe your ass after your shit or so. That's my joke. That's my joke. Man, but for real, like, PC culture, they try to move to attach itself to a deeper meaning related to what's going on in the world, in society, so that the viewers, whoever's watching the movie, can feel a sense of accomplishment, can feel like they've done righteous by being aware of the issues in society. I don't mind evolving comedy. There's this professor that, states comedy shouldn't be considered a genre, it should be considered a mode or a modifier as a manner of presentation of other genres. So basically a tool that other genres can use to enhance their movies, rather than trying to consider comedy as a genre in itself. Like Get Out's a horror film that uses comedy undertone and gives it that unique effect, that Jordan Peele effect. And what makes things funny is the uniqueness, the awkwardness, the departure from what the norm is, what society deems as normal. That's why Superbad is so funny, because of its quirkiness, its uniqueness, that Judd Apatow feel to it, that gives it that unusual vibe to it. People say that 2008, 2009 was the last leg of genuinely good comedy movies. Superbad, Pineapple Express, the Hangover movies. In my opinion, I feel like between 2014, 2016, Ice Cube, Kevin Hart with Ride Along and Deadpool, 21, 22 Jump Street, around like that era. I think those were, one of the few last years of genuinely funny movies. I also, I fucked with Neighbors 2. I think Easy A with the Emma Stone was hilarious too. Horrible Bosses, Grown Ups, This Is the End, Borat, We're the Millers, like movies like around. I feel like they don't give enough credit to the movies that was in the 2010s. It's definitely still solid movies. I don't think they're as good as the movies from the 2000s, like School of Rock, old school Will Ferrell, Elf, and Austin Powers. You know, I'm not really a huge Will Ferrell, Austin Powers fan, but Mike Myers definitely solidified himself with Shrek. No question. So to tie everything all up, I still have faith that the future of comedy, if in the right hands, will get back to where it needs to be. We just need to stop criticizing every little thing and just let that natural flow of quirkiness, of awkwardness, you know, come into light and slow things down. You feel me? I know I don't have the solution to how we can make comedy movies important again, make them funny again. But I think it starts with a conversation of maybe if we stop being so scared of offending everyone or offending a certain group of people, but also the jokes gotta be made in a sensible manner. The energy around that joke is taken into consideration, and you're not doing it out of spite, and you're using your common sense to make sure that what you're trying to convey gets across in the right way while still being funny. Then like you'll be solid, like you'll be Gucci. So I want to hear from y'all, right? Let me know in the comment section down below the state of where comedy is at. Do you think comedy is dead? Do you think that we have a future in maybe getting comedy back to where it used to be, the good old days, like the 2000s, 2010s? Let me know in the comment section down below, or let me know if you think that the way comedy is evolving is beneficial, you know, in terms of making sure that people don't get offended, that we have political correctness around these jokes. You know, is the direction of comedy, does it make sense for the climate that we're in? Should we keep it that way, or should we say fuck it and just do our own thing and make the jokes that we want to make, regardless of who gets offended? Let me know in the comment section down below. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. The last video that I dropped on my channel is going to be somewhere on the screen, so make sure you don't miss it on that. It's going to be in the description down below. Let me know what other videos you guys want me to do. You know, I love you guys. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. Please make sure you subscribe. We're on the road to 10K, and I'm gonna see you guys in the next video. Love.
Like, you told me some shit that I don't wish I'd have known. Time stay in with me, fight that shit every day. I was at my lowest and I kept having faith. I done put in work, I know that shit.